Today I'll explain you about the callable statement interface connecting to the Oracle database using Visual Studio Code environment. So before going to the demonstration of the application, we'll see what is callable statement interface. So we have three interfaces basically: the statement, prepared statement, and callable statement. So callable statement is a sub-interface of prepared statement, and prepared statement is a sub-interface of the statement. That is a hierarchy. Now the callable statement object executes an SQL statement to invoke the database procedure or function. Now here we need to understand the term called procedure. So we have stored procedure and stored function. Now when we get into the definition of stored procedure or function, we say that it is a set of instructions which performs a particular task. But here, how do you return the value to the application after the execution of the procedure or the function? Now when we talk about function, we do have a return keyword which is going to return the answer. But when you go for the procedure, we don't have any return keyword to give the output. But here we do have the alternative, like we have the out parameter, OUT. That's a predefined thing, out parameter, which is used to give the output for the application. Now the stored procedure contains a set of SQL statements, or I can say a group of SQL statements, which performs a particular task, where I can say the queries can be interlinked. If all the queries are executed perfectly, then the stored procedure is going to return the result. If one of the query is wrong, at least one of the query is wrong, then the other queries which got executed temporarily will be getting cancelled. So we say generally all or none concept. All queries are correct, you execute, otherwise you need to roll back or cancel all the queries. Now that procedure we define and keep inside the database. So we are writing a procedure which consists of SQL queries, and we store into the procedure, where we call it as a stored procedure. And now we need to call the stored procedure from the database. So we require a statement to call it. So here the callable statement in Java is going to call the stored procedure. The purpose of callable statement is to call stored procedure. Now the callable statement is available in java.sql package, and it is an interface and is a part of JDBC API. Now the callable statement interface extends the prepared statement interface. So prepared statement is a super interface, callable statement is a sub interface, and both are available in java.sql package. Now the callable statement object provides support for both input and output parameters. So here we can access the input as well as we can work with the output parameters when you go for the callable statement. The callable statement provides a standard abstraction for the data stores to call stored procedures and functions in a vendor independent way. So you have stored procedures to be designed in each and every database, and the callable statement can connect to the particular databases and call the stored procedures. And every vendor is having its own way of creating the stored procedures and calling of the stored procedures. So the callable statement can call those stored procedures from vendor independent specific ways by using their own specific sort of methods and applications. Now, stored procedures let you write queries that are quick to run and easy to invoke. So as I said, stored procedure is containing some SQL queries, and those SQL queries need to run and execute, and also it need to respond to the application very much faster. In Java, callable statement is used to call the stored procedures and functions by using an object of callable statement interface. So the work of callable statement interface, or the purpose of callable statement interface, is used to call stored procedures or stored functions from the database. There is one major difference between procedure and function is a function A function always returns a scalar value. So that's what I was saying. Return keyword is there, return, that is available for a function, and it can return a single value as an answer. But the procedure, we don't have a specific return value, but we do have some output parameters through which I can receive the output. Now coming to the stored procedure. A stored procedure is a subroutine in a database available to all the applications access the database. So it's just like a or function or a procedure, what we say, is a subroutine which consists of some queries that to be executed, and all applications can access the particular stored procedures which are stored into the database. So it could be Access, or it could be SQL Server, or it could be Oracle, or it could be MySQL. They can access the database and call the stored procedures. The stored procedure, it is a process of executing one or more SQL statements. If there is a clause called if every SQL query is correct, or that means it is a process of executing one or more SQL statements if every SQL query is correct, or none of the statements will be executed if at least one of the queries is wrong. So if all queries are correct, then the stored procedure get executed. None of the statements will be executed if at least one of the queries is wrong. Suppose 3 queries are there, all 3 are correct with syntax and no errors, then the stored procedure get executed. If one of the queries is wrong, at least one of the queries is wrong, then all the 3 get cancelled. So there is called all or none concept. Now where do we use this stored procedure basically is, I give an example here. If there are 2 account holders, account A and account B, and each account holder is having a minimum 5,000 of balance, both 5,000 A and 5,000 B. Now I want to transfer some amount from A to B, like 1,000 rupees I want to transfer. When I transfer 5,000 from A, 5,000 which was holding the prior balance should become 4,000, because 5,000 minus 1,000. So at the client side, one query got executed, that is update query. 5,000 minus 1,000, because A has transferred 1,000 rupees. So 4,000 has been affected. But before updating, that means before sending or before completing the transaction of updating that or transferring the 1,000 rupees to B, so that it need to become 6,000. Because B is also holding 5,000, but A has transferred 1,000, it need to be 6,000 actually. But before updating that, or before transferring that, there was a network failure. So B didn't got 1,000 rupees. A's account is 4,000 because he has already transferred. Now the bank is benefiting the 1,000. Now there is a question like where the 1,000 rupees has gone. Nor A is benefiting, nor B is got the 1,000 rupees, nor the bank is holding the 1,000 rupees. Then what? That means there was 2 queries, one update query which need to update account A's, that deduction of the balance. There was one more update query which should be updating the B's account. So both are interlinked. But one query is done perfectly, one query is not performed. So the first query also should get cancelled, so that the A is again getting back his 1,000 rupees. So it becomes 5,000 as the earlier balance. So that's where the stored procedures are going to come into existence, where you need to roll back immediately when some of the queries are wrong. Now the stored procedure allows a pre-compiled statement which can be accessed from multiple sessions to be defined. So here, as we have done with the previous video, that is a prepared statement. I was calling the prepared statement is also pre-compiled statement. And now the callable statement, I'm calling a pre-compiled statement. That means whenever I'm writing the syntax for calling a procedure and passing up the parameters, values, there the only one thing what we need to do is, before setting any values, you need to check the syntax of your procedure calling. And once the procedure calling syntax is correct, then you set the values for the parameters. So at the time of creating a statement that is callable statement only, we are going to pass the syntax for calling the procedure. Okay, in that sense, we are calling like it's a pre-compiled statement. Before working with values, your query, that means the calling of procedure syntax is checked. Okay, at the time of creating a callable statement object only. Then that's called pre-compiled statement. And anyone can access the stored procedures once the particular syntax is correct. So multiple sessions implies multiple clients can access the stored procedures. Now the properties of a stored procedure are listed as follows. So it can contain input parameter, output parameter, or both the input and output parameters. It returns a value through out parameter after executing the SQL statements. Because there is no return keyword for us for a stored procedure to return the output. So we have an alternative called out is a predefined constant. Out parameter we need to define. That means one variable you need to make, or two variables if it is more than one output. You can make the parameters as an out parameter so that we can get the output through those parameters. Now it can return multiple result sets. So more than one output can be written by using the out parameters. The stored procedures are generally a group of SQL statements that allows you to make a single call to a database. So callable statement is trying to call a stored procedure by name, but internally the stored procedures are holding a group of SQL statements which get executed. Now a stored procedure encapsulates the values of the following types of parameters. So the parameter could be in parameter. So you want to make the parameter to act as input parameter, you write in keyword beside the parameter. You want to make a parameter as output parameter, you write out parameter beside the parameter name. You want to make one variable or one parameter to act as both in and out, so you need to write in, out without any space. When you're writing now without any space, you need to write a parameter to act as both. One parameter can act as both input and output. Now what are the steps to use callable statement in an application? The first step, you need to create a callable statement object, that is the reference variable. So the line you can observe here, callable statement is an interface, predefined interface in java.sql. CST is the reference variable for this interface. Initialize with con, that we are doing in the second step, connection object dot prepare call is a method now. For normal statement, we have gone with the create statement. For prepared statement, we have gone with prepare statement. For callable statement, we are using prepare call method. Now in this, you need to pass a string parameter where you can see the flower brace here opened and closed. Now these two flower braces are called as escape syntax. That means it is giving the intimation to the compiler that whenever you are seeing the flower brace inside the prepare call, that means you are yet to call the procedure. That is the indication. Call is a keyword and you need to give the procedure name. Which procedure means the procedure name what you have already stored now in the database, that name you need to give. And now here we give question mark, comma, question mark. It implies on the column names or number of columns what you have in the table. So you don't set the values here. Question mark for first column, question mark for second column, or I can call it as a parameters for the procedure. Parameters. So two parameters I can call, but values I'm not going to set here. Then close the brace and close the double quotes and close. Now callable statement is a predefined interface available in java.sql. CS is a reference variable of callable statement. Prepare call is a predefined method of connection. It is an escape sequence. Call is a keyword to call stored procedure. Procedure name is the name of the stored procedure to be called. And the question mark, question mark implies the parameters of the stored procedure. Now second step, we can work with the setting the values of the parameters. For the question marks what you hold now, question marks whatever you're writing are called as placeholders. Now you want to set that particular question mark, first one and second one. So I need to use setX method. So X is nothing but the data type. Suppose the first question mark is an integer, you write set int. The second question mark is string, you write set string. So you write the index number, first question mark 1, second question mark 2, and you write the value. Now, whenever you want to get back your answer. I said that there is an out parameter in the procedure. So you need to clearly mention which parameter will be, or which parameter will be acting as output parameter. So we have a method called register out parameter, and here you give index number, like two question marks are there. So first question mark is your out parameter, second question mark is your out parameter. You need to write that index number, and you write the type. Suppose second parameter is your output parameter, and let's think that type is a string. So here you need to clearly mention that it is a varchar type. In the database it's a varchar type. You need to mention that, because you need to give the clear idea to your application, Java application also, like the output parameter is of what type. Now after that, execute the stored procedure or function by calling execute method. You need to call this method for executing the procedure. Then retrieve the final answer by using getter methods. Suppose your answer is a string, right? Then you write get string. If your answer is integer, you are getting get int of the column, first column or second column. What that means, the parameter, no, first parameter or second parameter, that you need to mention the number. So I'll show you in the program how to use this one. Now I'll show you the demonstration of callable statement interface connecting Oracle database using VS Code environment. Now you need to have the Visual Studio Code and software in your system. Then only we can do this. So just open the Visual Studio Code. So if you type VS Code, here you can get Visual Studio Code. Okay. Now this is the environment for the Visual Studio Code. This is the environment for the Visual Studio Code, and you need to have the folder in order to store your data. So I have a folder called Java VS1, and I have so many folders inside this. So you can also create your own folders, and inside that you try to save. So as of now, Java VS24 I'm taking. Just select that and right click, and you have an option called new file. Once you click this, it is going to ask you the program name. So you write callable statement demo.java. Okay. So now you're getting the file structure they are given, how to declare. But before this, you need to import the package. Okay, before going to this application, first we need to create a procedure, then only we can write. So I'll show you how to create a procedure, then we come back to the same window and do. So you need to have the Oracle database, and once you have the Oracle database, you can just type run SQL command, and you just open that. Now here you go for connect. Your database username and password should be given. So I'm giving the database username is system, and here when I type the password, it's not visible, but it will accept the characters. So just type and press enter. I'm typing my database password. Now it got connected. Now here I have a table. I'll just show you. You need to have a table and with some records. So select star from. I'm going for student DB1. Here we have 6 rows. So you need to have one table. Any table you can work out, but I'm working on the student table. So you have one. You can need to have one table with some columns. So I'm having one table what I already created, and I have some records. So if you don't have such table prior, you need to create one table, then insert some records, then you create a procedure. So here my intention is I'll give any roll number which is existing here through the Java program. So the procedure need to accept these numbers and give the student name to me as an answer. So through my Java application, I'm passing one number from this. It need to execute that query and give me this particular name based on the roll number. So in the SQL prompt, first you need to create a procedure. How to create, you try to check. because the syntax is a little bit different, and this is a part of PLSQL programming. So here you need to type create or replace procedure. Here I'm writing get name. Now here if you see this create or replace, these four are keywords, and the get name is a procedure name that is user defined. You can give any name. Okay. Now this get name is holding two parameters. What I'm writing. So I'll give R number for roll number, which is temporary, and in is a keyword for to act as input parameter, and the roll number is of what type? Number type. Okay. Now next we have student name. No, so I'll write something like a STU name. Okay, STU name as a parameter, but I'm making it as output parameter OUT, and it's a varchar. Okay, so two parameters I'm taking. One is R number for roll number. This one student STU name for S name. Now these R number and STU name are user defined, and that's only formal parameter sort of thing. This R number is an input parameter and data type is number. STU name is an output parameter, it's varchar. Because it need to match, R number should match with roll number data type, STU name should match with S name data type. So that's the reason. Now next line you write as keyword, that is predefined. Begin keyword, that's also predefined. Now select, I want to write a select query. What I want to select actually is S name. This one. This S name I want to select and put into, there is a keyword called into what I want to put into this one because it's an output parameter. So I write STU name. Now from which table? Now from which table? STU DB1, right? STU student DB1, not STU, student DB1, where condition you need to give, where this roll number should equivalent to this R number, whatever you are giving from your Java program. Okay. So I'm writing here only one query, then I'm closing that by using end, and you need to put a forward slash. Now here the thing is, you select the S name from this into and put into STU name because it's an output parameter. This is going to give the output to your Java program. From which table? Is student DB1, where the roll number should equivalent to R number, means whatever you are passing from your Java application, the roll number will be storing into this. Only this person's name you need to store into STU name and give the output. Then close the end, put a semicolon, and you need to come out of the SQL prompt, right? So put a forward slash. Now here you got procedure created. So if you get procedure created or procedure created successfully, then only your procedure is correct. Sometimes you get procedure created with compilation errors. That means your procedure is wrong. Okay, so you need to redo it. Okay, so you need to have a table with some columns and records, and based on that particular thing you need to write the procedure. Okay, now our procedure is ready. Now we'll write a Java program and call this procedure so that we can get the output. Okay, so here we have 102, right? That 102 will give in the program, and my expected outcome is the name of the student is MSc. Okay, go back to your window. So I'll write import java.sql because this one is a main API for that for us. Then public class, okay, then now in this I'll go for public static void main. Then in this second try block, and in this first step is loading of drivers. So I'll write class dot for name, Insert this Oracle dot JDBC dot driver dot Oracle driver. Now here the Oracle driver is a class. Now that is available in driver subpackage. Driver is available in JDBC subpackage. JDBC is available in Oracle package. So that is the hierarchy. So if this particular class is not available in your system, then you get a class not found exception. So for this, what you need to do is you need to download ojdbc6.jar file. If you just type in Google and just search, you are going to get that ojdbc6.jar, and you save in one folder, any folder. And since it is a compressed file, you try to extract the file from that by right click extract all, and you give some name. And if you open that particular folder now after extraction, you get one jar file inside. So what you can do here is you need to select the path of the particular jar file and go to my computer, right click properties, environment variables, and go for class path variable and paste that particular path. And after that you append ojdbc6.jar, and I have clearly mentioned in one video of how to set the class path for Oracle driver. You can just go through the procedure and set the path. Because you don't set the class path now, your program doesn't work. Okay, so you are going to get one exception, class not found exception, and that we are passing as a parameter for name method, which is a static method, and that method is available in a class called class. You can see there is a class here, there is a class here. So this is small c, this is capital C. So this is a predefined class, this is a predefined keyword. Now whenever the static method is are there, that should be called with the class name. Sometimes if the main method and your static method is available in the same class, then you can call it directly. Now second step, we have connection con driver manager dot get connection of. In this you can type JDBC colon Oracle. Now JDBC colon Oracle is a sub protocol. After that we write thin, which is a type 4 driver, or we call it a thin driver. After that we write @localhost. Why we are writing localhost is the Oracle database and your Java application, like what I'm typing now, both are in same system. So the current system where your database is residing is called as localhost. So I'm writing localhost colon 1521 is a port number for Oracle. Then XC is for the Oracle engine. Now after that, you close a particular string, put a comma, and again write the database username. Like I have typed the system, then database password. At the time of installation, what you are given, that you need to pass. Then close. Now, callable statement, third step. Callable statement, CST. Now here this get connection is also static method, and that is available in driver manager class, and it is giving a connection reference variable. Now for creating a callable statement, we are using callable statement interface CST equal to con dot prepare call, and in this I need to start the flower brace, then write call keyword, call, then get name is the method, right? Get name is the procedure name, get name. Inside this you pass the parameters, number of parameters, number of question marks you need to pass. Okay, then close the flower brace, close the double quotes, and so here you can see call keyword in the flower brace, and get name is the procedure name you're calling. And these values I'm not going to set now, I'm going to set later. But when you see the procedure, you have two parameters, I put two question marks. Then close the flower brace, close the double quotes, and close the method. Now I need to set the first question mark as a roll number, right? So I'll write cst dot set int of, because it's the roll number is an integer, right? One is the index number, and I want to give the value I said 1 or 2. I'm going to give 1 or 2. And then what about the second question mark? So we need to give what is this data type of this particular second parameter, to your application. So we need to write CST dot register out parameter of to with we have a types class. In SQL we have types class, and you need to specify what data type it is. So the second one is a string, that's a varchar. In your procedure also it's a varchar, right? So we need to give that information. Now we need to execute the procedure by calling execute method. Once you execute the procedure, you need to retrieve the output, right? So I'll directly write system.out.println of, I want student name. Student name concatenated. Just close this. Concatenated with CST dot. It's a string, right? The student name is string. So you need to write get string of second one. Second parameter is output parameter. That's a parameter index unit, right? Then close the method. This one. Then you need to close the reference. Then con.close. Then close the try block. Then go for catch block. Then go for e dot print stack trace method, where it is going to give the computer information. Catch block is closed. Then main is closed. So we can just remove this one. Additional braces. Okay. So here I'm giving 102 as a roll number, and I'm expecting this person's roll number's name I want. Okay. So just save this. Okay. And here in database also you can see 102 is MSA. My answer should be MSA. Okay. So just save and run. So here we have a run option. Just click that. Now can you see here the student name is MSC. Okay. So if I change the name number here, let's say I will give a different number, 105. Okay. I'll just recreate here 105. Again save it. Any change you need to save and run. So here can you see student name. So it is connecting to the procedure, and the procedure is getting executed there, and it returns the answer to you by using the second parameter, which is nothing but out parameter. So in this way, you need to call the store procedure so that it get executed in the database and only the output is sent back to your Java application. So through the callable statement, we are able to connect to the database and executing the stored procedure inside that, and we are able to retrieve the output. So I hope I have given some input on the callable statement, connecting to database and executing the store procedure. If you like this video, do comment, subscribe, and share it to your friends. Thank you.